Sudan's civil war, a forgotten humanitarian crisis. The ongoing civil war in Sudan, now entering its second year, has created a devastating humanitarian crisis. Millions are displaced, facing hunger, and vulnerable to violence. Despite international efforts, peace remains elusive as the warring factions, the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and Rapid Support Forces, RSF, refuse to cease hostilities. Key points on the humanitarian aspects of the civil war in Sudan. Displacement and refugee crisis. Since the conflict began in April 2023, over 8.2 million people have been displaced, the worst displacement crisis in the world. Nearly 2 million displaced Sudanese have fled to unstable areas in neighboring Chad, Ethiopia, and South Sudan, overwhelming refugee camps. This refugee exodus has prompted concerns that Sudanese refugees could soon attempt to enter Europe. Humanitarian needs and food insecurity. Over 25 million people in Sudan need humanitarian assistance, as the conflict has triggered the world's largest hunger crisis. Deteriorating food security has been a major concern, with the UN warning that the situation risks triggering the world's largest hunger crisis. Atrocities and allegations of war crimes. There is evidence of numerous mass atrocities and war crimes committed throughout the conflict, including ethnic killings, sexual violence, and the burning of villages. The UN has indicated that between 10,000 to 15,000 people were killed in 2023 due to ethnic violence by the RSF and its allies in West Darfur. The UNHCR has warned that the current violence is emblematic of the genocide in Darfur that killed an estimated 300,000 people from 2003 to 2005. Obstacles to humanitarian access. Humanitarian access has been a major challenge, with attacks destroying hospitals and other vital infrastructure. The UN has described the conflict as spiraling out of control as the health system has collapsed, raising fears of disease outbreaks. Failure of peace negotiations. Multiple rounds of peace negotiations have failed as the warring factions have refused to uphold ceasefire agreements or cooperate with international mediation efforts. In late 2023, negotiations in Jeddah adjourned after neither side agreed to uphold their commitments, including facilitating humanitarian assistance. Regional instability and internationalization of the conflict. The displacement crisis is concerning given the instability of the surrounding region, as Sudan borders other volatile countries. There are concerns that the conflict could become more factionalized and regionalized without a resumption of peace talks. The situation remains dire, with no clear end in sight. The international community continues to push for peace negotiations and humanitarian access, but the warring factions show little willingness to compromise. The conflict's long-term consequences on Sudan and the region remain a major concern.